Let's say that you're a farmer. You own a piece of land. And on that land is a chicken coop, and maybe a hog building, and maybe some other agricultural buildings. What can you do with real property improvements that helps your current tax situation? You can't depreciate land, dirt, but real property improvements can be depreciated. So you can accelerate the depreciation on components that you are owning. There's this whole industry of the cost segregation study engineers that run around the country doing engineered studies to help you parse out the components of a building. Is this a load-bearing wall? Maybe. If it's not a load-bearing wall, maybe it's just a immaterial component that can be depreciated rapidly as chattel, personality. Chicken coops, though, hog buildings, other shorter-lived agricultural buildings are a sweet spot for taking accelerated depreciation. And you can use those accelerated deductions to offset your gains in other areas. If you're a real estate professional, like a real estate agent, you may have almost unfettered ability to take those paper losses and use them against your other income. So real estate agents love this. But now when you go to sell your real estate, you really have two buckets of gain. You've got the land and the long-lived improvements that are either undepreciable, like dirt, or 39 years straight line for like a long-term building, commercial building. But those components that can be rapidly depreciated, those are a different bucket of gain. We call that the 1245 gain. 1245 trumps 1031. If you don't offset and match up your 1245 gains with new 1245 real property components or properties, you're not going to be able to fully defer your gain. So if you're going from a small agricultural hog building and chicken coop operation to a large chicken coop and hog building, you might be okay because you can match up your 1245 components with new 1245. Your gains can basically be moved over. And it doesn't have to be identical properties. You don't have to go from a chicken coop to a chicken coop. You just have to go from 1245 component to 1245 component. What that might necessitate, though, is thinking ahead and doing a cost segregation study on your replacement property to see what components are there and to make sure there's enough components that you can offset your 1245 gains. If there's not enough 1245 gains there, you may have to buy a second and identify a second property to get enough 1245 components. If you were simply going to go into plain vanilla dirt, all 1250 property, your 1245 problem hasn't been even addressed a lick. You'd probably want to identify a different property, maybe a warehouse that has refrigerator chillers in it, lots of 1245 specialty components, so you can maximize and write off your 1245 gain by deferring it into the second acquisition.